Alright guys, welcome. So today we're doing a tutorial. This music's way too loud. I'm gonna change the volume here down to 10. Yeah, there we go, that's better. Okay, so today we're doing another tutorial. Today we're actually gonna be updating some things, also adding status. For primary updating, if you see here, API version is depreciated. Change to API version check for more info on this site. And I can actually take us to that site here. And it has recently updated. We made a lot of changes to the API. You actually have to hit at least version 3 of this package in order to use this package now. Thanks to the fact that I updated the URL to the API. So version 3 is the only one that has a valid API URL. Now, version check, all it does is allows you to have your own little code, which you can see in this example. Instead of it outputting for you, it allows you to have it its own. Now, execute console is new. Execute console allows us to execute a console log in the factor of the package's console logger. The package console logger logs a little bit differently than you think. So, like here it says warning and info, that's what the package outputs. That's something that you would have to set up yourself with Winston console logger. Now you don't. So if we go to like ready here, so what we're gonna start doing is doing that. So we're gonna remove our logger. It's just no longer needed. And we can go to index.js file here and everything is not in here. Good. We'll do it. So we no longer need our Rinsen imported. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna change this. For example, let's say I'm actually gonna keep that for some. Is we're gonna execute our console. And this does not count as an API call either. This is done through the package itself. Then you'll put in your message. The only difference compared from my logger is you have to. This is errors, and this is warnings. We don't have error. This is not an error or a warning. So we're gonna say it's an info. If I was to put that to true and save, I put error, and I was to put that to false and put the other one to true. It was as a warning, but it's not a warning. It's just a regular info. Now what we need to do is update this thing. So to do that, I'm gonna do an async check function. We'll do check, and then that's all we're gonna put in. So all we have to do now is start our check. So we can do API version check. Now you can still use version at the moment. It would just say it's depreciated. But we're gonna fix this error so we don't get that warning about it being depreciated. We're gonna do API v. And that's it. And actually, we're gonna have to switch some of our config files. API v. Actually, no. We don't need to because it's already the way it is. I see. Okay. So now we need to do that then. Data. So now we have our data imported. I'm going to do it this way. Let go to data. And here's why. If we go here, you can see all the things that it's pulling, version supported and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is version supported outdated and latest. So that's all the things that this version thing is going to output for us for data. So now we're going to do a whole bunch of ifs. So if outdated, we're going to run this code. So we'll return. We don't need to do that. We're going to do execute console. So now we're just executing the console again. Now we're going to create our little own message. So we're going to do version is outdated. And actually, I just remembered something. So we have to also do an if in here and do supported, because we have to check if it's supported at the same time. If it is supported, not supported, we'll return an execute console log. And then we'll create our own little message called version is no longer supported. Latest version is latest. So now we have that. So now if otherwise we'll just execute console. We also need to do this. So this will be an error. But not a warning. You cannot define both. Once you define true error, the warning will no longer be checked, because it just returns. Anyways, back to console. Here, down here, we can do a warning down here. We can say version is outdated, but still supported. Latest version is latest. Always remember, this is meant to be a false because it's not an error, but it will be true. Now here we're just doing else. Any other things means it's updated. It's not outdated. It's not outdated, and it's supported. So we're gonna execute console again and say version is the latest version for RAM API. So now all we have to do is await check here and await check here, and you see oh, oops. RAM API version. That's why it's not. Here in a minute, it will load. It's not editable. That's because it needs to be this. There we go. So ready on version 10. So version 4 is the latest version for RAM API. But what if we mess with this variable? What happens if we move down a version? That is false. It is 100% supported. I know that because I was using it the other day. And I got a warning in this live stream this morning, actually. So something tells me we did our checks wrong. So if not supported is what it should be. And there we go. Now we got a warning. So it is outdated, but it's still supported. The latest version is supported. But what if I go to version 2, which I know is not supported? I'm going to say version 2 is no longer supported. Oh, no, by the way. Oh, no, we didn't do that yet. I'm heading ahead of myself. So now we have our version checks correct. So now we're not going to get a warning saying that it's associated. And I like the system way better, too, because some people probably don't like it outputting that it is still supported. When it's still supported, they probably just want to leave it alone. And not even bother with that. You could do something like, if that support it, then log. I was to say you're still good. Whatever which way you want to log it is the way you want to do it. You can do your own console log. If you came up with a way to custom log yourself with a different color schema, you can. There's multiple ways you can do it. But I like that because it allows you to console log as the package. And it's a lot cleaner. In your console. You can actually have colors in your console now. I'm going to head over here to update this. So April is something that we had. We had this console log down here. We're going to do an execute console here as well. I'm going to do error true because it's an error, and then we'll do false because it's not a warning. So now when this errors out with any error, it would actually tell us what it is in console. If you don't have it catched, it would error and crash your bot. If you do catch it but you don't log anything, it won't log for you anymore. That has been removed. You will now have to manually execute this execute console to catch that error. Because all it returns now is the error. That's it. It doesn't actually log anymore. The reason why I did that is because it allows you to have a custom error system like this, since you have to catch it anyways. We're going to do the same thing here. Except here, we have this. Too many requests. But we're also going to execute console here and do error, true, and then false. That way it logs it for us as errors. That way if there's ever an issue, you can see what's going on, and I can actually show you in action. If I just change this to test, here, then I run the hello command, which, what is the prefix to this bot again? Equals. So we do equals hello. An error has occurred, please contact support. An error has happened. Forbidden. It will tell you the error like that. If you don't do that, they will see that an error has happened. But you won't see the error. because it's no longer logging that error anymore. So you actually have to execute it. You have to tell the package to log it for you, which is what I did, or you have to use console.log. Very simple, very easy to do. Next up on this list is the ready. And this to be the last thing we're doing in this video, which is the actual purpose of this video, is getting a status up. We already have a version check, so we don't longer need to do anything with that. But we need to do client, and actually we need to pass through our client. So we're going to come here and pass through client. So now we can come into ready, pass through our client. And then I'm also going to do this thing up here. Boom, now we're up to date. Okay, now what we need to do is client.user. And if you see evidence being imported from me, even though I'm not in the main file, it's because of the params are defined now. So now it knows what to put. It would be set presence. Activities. Name will be tutorials. Next will be type. And we'll do watching. And then we're also going to find a status. We're going to make it go DND. And if we restart, the bot will go into watching tutorials, and in here in a few minutes, it would actually go into DND. Here, if we wait a few minutes. Alright, so now we're on D&D over here. So that's how you set status. You can do rotating statuses if you look at version 12's status video. I'll leave a link in the description. You can follow that. You just update some of the code to make sure that you actually get the right status set. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I know this was a quick one and a lot of information in it about updating the package and stuff. But next tutorial, we'll probably end up learning slash commands, which would be nice. And I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I worked so hard on these videos. Here is the previous video, where you can watch the previous video. Here is the recommended video from YouTube. Here is the playlist to the series that is currently playing. And hit subscribe. See ya.